Why hello there, my fellow demonic entities. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Sintopia. Episode 2, Building Up Hell from Scratch.
Chief, all of this is fine and dandy, but what about our breaks? You know, I've seen guys purposely take longer if you don't give them facilities dedicated to chilling. Not me, of course. I would never do that. No!
Alright, so the next thing it wants me to build is the health facility of a restroom. And the restroom is going to allow the people that work here... Really? You want me to build there, even though it doesn't cover that building? Alright, whatever.
We don't want souls to bumble in here. You should connect the building with an imp-only road to avoid hummus getting lost in personnel-only neighborhoods.
Okay, so the restroom allows your employees to take breaks efficiently. And we don't want the hummus to walk in here because the restroom is not for imps, or not for hummus. It's for imps only. So this is an imp-only road that only employees can walk. Got it.
Hey, you should definitely fork him to shorten his break. Note that I said fork, not, well, you know.
All right.
Otherwise, it wouldn't really shorten the break, would it?
Okay, Lily, yeah. So, in order to shorten someone's break, you can stab them with forks to put them back to work more quickly.
I was thinking, this heavy magical tome you were given when you got the job, maybe we should have a little chat about it. It is the one and only Liber Administratum, a codex of immense power, raving about the art of bureaucracy. Your predecessors imbued it with teachings of their own, before it was eventually passed on to you. You will have to attune to it if you want to decipher its powers and technologies.
Okay, let's open up the Liber Administratum for the first time.
Don't let yourself be intimidated by it. With time, it will be easier to navigate through its chapters. Each of them comes with its unique theme and passive powers to unlock. This is also where you can research new constructions and spells, but it doesn't come cheap. The heroes are the heavenly currency you will have to spend to study the Liber Administratum and unlock new powers. To get more, you'll have to do your job and purify the hummus of their sins. More precisely, every time a hummu resurrects from hell with a low enough amount of sin, you will get one hero. Easy enough, yes? Here, I was allowed to award you 5 heroes to get you saddled up, courtesy of the chairman. For now, let's have you acquainted with a very important tool, the Souls Dispatcher.
Okay, so you unlock new building spells and passive upgrades, gaining heroes. In the campaign mode, you have a limit of the amount of heroes that you can unlock, and it will increase for each additional campaign mission. And then also, all of the upgrades that you unlock carry over to the next mission. So if I unlock the Souls Dispatcher now, in next mission I'll have it as well. So let's go ahead and spend 5 over heroes on the Souls Dispatcher. And the Souls...
Thanks to this tool, you will segregate souls according to any criteria you may fathom. This is by far the most important building for an efficient bureaucracy.
Okay. So, the Souls Dispatcher, I'm going to follow the tutorial and then set it up the way I want to set it up. We're going to drop it right here. We'll click on it.
In the overview, you can see all 3 exits with their respective rules, if any, as well as the current fallback exit. You can set up a new rule from here, but we'll see that later.
Rules?
This is the details panel. When a soul enters a dispatcher, it checks if it matches any existing rule. Remember though, it checks from top to bottom, and the soul will go out on the first matching exit.
Alright, create a rule for B, which is heading to the resurrection portal.
Whether it's a specific sin, various statuses they can have, or other characteristics, each category has its own rule language. You'll have to explore the various options in due time. Make sure to set the different parameters according to your needs. We will want a heroes lane that checks the amount of corruption in a soul before letting it through. That way, you'll make sure to only resurrect souls that will award you a hero.
So this is
Now
essentially
we have
saying...
a rule for specific souls. We have to determine what happens to souls that do not meet it. This happens in the fallback exit section. Here, you can select a lane in which souls will go if they do not match any of the rules set above. In our case, we want souls to loop back to our omnisin doctors due to their sin level being too high. Could you kindly?
Okay, so what this is saying is if the soul will award heroes, allow it to go up. And if not, go left.
We still need to build a loop to have sinful souls be brought back to the entrance and go through our omnisins again, until they behave enough to be given a new life.
So, we'll drag a path back to the start, and then do crossings. And the crossings don't allow souls to go the wrong way.
Great, great. You learn fast. Now it's up to you to make up your own rules. In a bureaucracy, making stuff up can be its own reward. I think we're done here for now.
Okay.
Nightfall. The hummus will stop working and head home now. I could tell you they're going to go to sleep, but you're a grown-up. You can take the blunt truth. Hummus tend to shaboink at night. A lot. In fact, they can get pretty naughty, even to my standards. At least now you know where their daily natality comes from.
If I may, should you feel like preventing them from having a promiscuous night, you can always disturb them during the deed. If you do that, it will remove them from those partaking in the natality count for next dawn.
Why would you prevent them from having some fun? No. This goes against my work ethics.
Oops.
However, studies have shown disturbed hummus are prone to wrathful tantrums if disturbed during their frivolous moments. So much so that they might just go back to work rather than stay home to listen to this cacophonous chaos.
I think we've established that we shouldn't do that. So let's wait for dawn and check the morning's fresh creation of newcomers.
So I knocked around bells that were attached to the houses to piss them off so they would not make more chickpeas. And we could click on this spawn beacon. The birth rate also generates a small amount of lust. So chickpeas equal people. Or, hummus, whatever. Alright. Are the tutorial rails off now? Can I do what I want?
Administrator? No. It seems that one of your collaborators deserves a raise. Surely that takes priority over messing with people's night activities.
Alright, while doing their job, employees gain experience. With enough experience, they level up and gain free stat boosts, a new trait to pick, and an automatic wage upgrade or raise. So we click this.
Oh, it's only you.
And Axel Zoloft can either upgrade to work faster or to gain motivation. I make money when I pitchfork him. He's a loser and costs less money. I'm going to make him motivated.
Good employees do not come cheap. Sometimes fostering mediocrity is a good way to save cash.
Really?
What? I'm just saying. That's an option. Every day at dawn, you will have to pay the sum of all wages and maintenance costs of Hell buildings merged into the upkeep value. If you can't pay, you should expect strikes from your employees.
You're damn right we will.
Don't mess around with people's cash.
We are not slaves, I think.
See? You'll want to keep a close eye on your upkeep.
Alright, upkeep is due at every dawn. Employees will go into a strike if the upkeep is not paid in full. So on the top left, you can see the dawn, noon, night. And if you don't pay them at dawn, they will strike until noon. All right, click on the highlighted soul. Oh, here they are. Ooh, you're a deviant.
When a Hamu gets too much of the same sin, it turns into a deviant of that sin. However, note that it will alter their behavior and make them tricky to handle. Omnisin's doctors won't be able to treat their deviant sin anymore, so they are very much a double-edged sword. Luckily, we can research the right tools to handle that called specialists, which are buildings dedicated to treating deviants. They're also way more profitable than Omnisins. Let's build a few and direct fitting hummus to them.
All right. So unlock the Enviologist, which is here as one of the 7 deadly sins. So boom, we got the Enviologist, which only can punish those that are envy deviants. And then we need to punish envy with the Enviologist. So build an Enviologist and punish them. I'm going to place it near the restroom, I guess. And then let's go ahead. I don't know if the tutorial is going to tell me to do this, but I'm going to put a dispatcher. Here, let's push this soul back into the spawn. And I'll put a souls dispatcher here. If they are a deviant of envy, go A, which is left. Else, if their sin value is less than, let's say, 45. No, let me redo that. If on rule B, if their sin value is greater than 45, go up. And then else, which is sins less than 45, they can straight up skip everything and get resurrected. Because why put them through treatment? Seems a waste. Cool. All right, then when this envy doctor is done, we'll dump them right here. Perfect. And let's hire. Why don't they have your names? I don't know. But let's hire this dude to be our enviologist. So now if we follow Malreaver here, he is envy. He's going to go left, and he's going to get treated by the enviologist. Which, if you click on it, as you can see, in 52 seconds, we'll remove 35 envy, and we will make 875 purgadollars. To put that in perspective, the Omnisin Doctor removes 25 sins for $250. So the specialist obviously makes a lot more money, but also spends a lot more time idle, because unless you have a crazy high sin deviant of like envy, there's just not a lot of people who are envious to be treated. There we go. Here's the treatment. He's sticking his hand in the box for perfection.
Oh,
and
finally.
Yep. There's no Dune here. Just, you know, just treating some envy. That setting is not working. I want it hidden. Alright, so here we go. We got some assessments here. So this person, for instance, failed, right? They still have a sin of 59. They're not worth a hero's, but these are lower, and they are worth resurrecting for heroes, so they're going up.
Done for now.
Perfect. Now, the reason I did greater than 45 is they might pick up some sins on the way over. So, like, this person has a sin of 42, and if... Oh, now he has a sin of 43. So you can see why I wanted the extra little wiggle room. Because if they pick up some sins, too many sins before they resurrect, they end up not being worth research points. So, like, this one right here, Duncan Stumblefoot, is barely worth it, right? He's at 49, right at the threshold. So he made it. But that's why I don't like... The tutorial was like, hey, just do, like, if heroes. But I don't like that rule. So I'm going to replace this rule with sin value is less than 45. And that way, if they pick up some sins on the way over to the portal, they are still worth it.
Take it easy.
That makes sense. So maybe I could find... They're at 43, and they should be able to make it to the respawn no problem without there being issues. Nope, lunchtime. Hey, get back to work. Stab ya! Ha ha ha! The other change I'm going to make is having people dispatched to the Help Pet Show. Doesn't really make sense because then they're not getting treated for their sins. So I'm going to move that around a little bit because it's dumb, to put it bluntly. And then I have some extra money, so let's get another Omniscient Doctor over here instead and hire you, Liam Glee, putting that in position. All right, now the pet show I'll hook up that everyone goes through. And the only concern here, actually, you know what? I'm going to change this. So let's move this thing, Souls Dispatcher, to be after the Hell Pet Show, because you could pick up some sins waiting in line for the Hell Pet Show. I could have a waiting line there. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure them afterwards. So the rules should still be here. If B is less, if your sins are less than 45, you go, else you go A. Let's have else you go C. So if you are, if your sins are too great, you feed back to the start. And expect everything to be like messy spaghetti, because that's just how it gonna be. So bring this down. And then make sure to drop a crossroad here so that they don't switch paths. Cool. And then we could, of course, add more help at shows. Oh, there's a stuck employee. Oh, right. Yeah, we gotta actually hire you back. Put you back in your work. Let's get one more help pet show. Plop it over here. To handle the extra load. And they'll easily split left and up equally. And then have it dump out like that. And hire another employee. And I don't really know what's going on with the whole, like, them not having your guys' names. I might need to do the reconnect thing here. No, I'm still me. I don't know what's going on with the integration, but hopefully it will start working again. No bathroom time. Get back to work. Now, the Hell Pet Show over here doesn't have restrooms, so let's go give them some restrooms. So now every employee has a restroom access. And I'll also speed up the restroom access for the enviologists so that they have a shorter path. We are also... Oops, I didn't connect that. We're also at 100% faith coin, so I might as well spend some faith coin. So let's make some money by killing some people, huh? Come join me in hell. There we go. We probably killed some people. Does this need to be cleaned up? No, this is fine. Might look a little confusing, but I'll walk you through it. So you enter. We measure if you are a deviant of envy. If yes, you go left to the enviologist. Then you get dumped to this path here. Oh, you know, there was one issue. Hold on. Yeah, I see the problem. This shouldn't be a feedback loop. If that's what you spotted, then you are right. Alright, so enviologist, you go, you get dumped here, you go through the Hell Pet Show, you get measured. If you still aren't worth a hero, you get dumped back to the start. If you aren't a deviant, and you are worth, if you have low sin, if you have a sin greater than 45, you go into the queue, and go through the Omni docs, and then if you are else meaning assuming that you have a sin less than 45, then you take this path, you go through the pet show, and then you get measured, and if you fail because you picked up greater than 45 sins, you get feedback to the loop here. Now, it's not likely that anyone's going to pick up sins and become a deviant within hell. So yeah, you could, if there was more space here, and obviously I'm in the tutorial, so I didn't really design this myself, I would want to measure for deviancy at the start again, but whatever, it should work just fine. Sorry, Rangers. Into the drink you go, because I was bored. Probably not that beneficial to do that to the Rangers, and the reason for that is the Rangers are the ones that, like, conquer warg dens and claim land, and they could actually provide a considerable benefit, depending on the goals that you're trying to reach. The other thing is, our current ruler does cause envy, but we're waiting for the enviologist to treat another person. But at the moment, there is no one that is a envy deviant yet. Oh no, here we go. The game just generated one, like out of nowhere. I think because tutorial. So Sextus Big Eye getting treated for his envy. And then the people in the Hell Pet Show should have less than 45 sins, if coded correctly. But depending on the wait time here, that's the danger. If they wait too long, they could pick up more, which is why we measure again. So like this person is a 47 now, so we are sending them back through the loop. But this person's the 38, so they're getting out. Perfect. Hey, get back to your show. What are you even laying on? You're laying on toilet paper? COVID hoarder, get back to work. Alright, well, we just need to get one more deviant punished for their envy, and we'll have fulfilled that objective, the first job objective. How did you guys get there? Oh my god, you have so many sins. Well, this is Sextus Big Eye. So we treated his deviancy for envy, but he's obviously way high sin. So the other thing we could do in this case is when people are treated for their envy, to then just send them back to start instead. Because just because we're removing their envy doesn't mean they're like sinless anymore. And that would skip the whole like filling up the hell pet show, but it doesn't really matter because we just finished.
So low. I think the chairman will want to see for himself what you can do without training wheels. And frankly, so do I. Let's see what you're really made of.
Alright, training is over. Rock on. Devil's horns, right? Something like that. The snag. Time to start doing your job as Administrator of Hell. You'll have to outfit a world with a soul cleaning administration. Deal.
Congrats on completing our onboarding program. You will make one hell of an administrator. Ah, one hell. I just need to finish that mountain of paperwork to officialize your permanent taking over of Hell Incorporated. I will get right to it.
In the meantime, should we get started on our next task?
Ah, yes, about that. There might be an itsy-bitsy complication. Our new administrator's predecessor, Lou Morningstar, has taken rather strongly to his little exile from creation. It seems he invented and peppered corruption stones on countless hummus realms right before I could get to his disciplinary interview. Lily, you wouldn't happen to know anything about that?
Me? I don't think I do.
Don't play dumb with me. You are his chief of staff, goddammit. Surely you've heard something?
Oh, now that you mention it, he might have alluded to the Corruption Stones project. Magical artifacts that bless hummus with sin. A lot of sin. But it was just a random idea at the time.
Well, it just so happens that the world we're moving on is equipped with one of these ideas. That is a bother. Administrator, you will have to make the best of the situation. We won't let a little stone ruin our day. Plus, if I am to listen to Lily, you've proven more than up to the task.
You know, most angels would be scared to work with a demon, let alone a demon queen. But you're not. Not that I can tell. You seem different. You get that evil is relative. I'm not any better or worse than anyone else. True evil does not exist. Well, actually, scratch that. In this world, there is one thing that does scare me. Something absolutely vile and truly evil. Bureaucracy. Untouchable. Pernicious. All-powerful. Gifted for only will. The desire to expand, to regulate and infest everything it touches. Concepts, creativity, or individuals. It spares nothing. Oh, I've seen them, you know. Armies of empty, obedient husks whose freedom got crushed by its cogs. Administrator, of all the powers you may leverage, this is the most powerful and destructive one by far. Tread carefully, lest you yourself become a bureaucrat, the true harbingers of evil. Larry, what is that exactly?
You went into my room, Not cool, man. Not cool. I could have anything lying around in there.
Explain yourself.
It's the limited edition Lily body pillow. Don't you recognize yourself? There's your pretty fangs, your lustrous hair, and these are your nice, round, plump...
For hell's sake, I don't mean just the pillow. Look at all the junk with my face on it. Stickers, notepads, plushies. Look, a toothbrush? Really?
It's not junk. It's all officially licensed Lily merchandise. They're pretty high quality, too, and not cheap knockoffs. They're said to be the best companion items for cool guys with style. Cool teens, anyway. I don't use the stuff anymore. But keeping it reminds me of you, babe. Can't put a price on that.
I'll admit, the quality is nice. The details are uncannily accurate, but they are somewhat tame. I don't recall a merchandising company asking for the use of my image, though. You said it's officially licensed?
It better be. The body pillow is the standard D-cup model. The price tag is on the back. It reads, Lily Pad Size D. Official Lily Fan Club trademark. Made in hell.
That won't do. I should have been included to improve the designs. Bolder designs. Say, Larry, would you contact them for me? Give them new pictures to work with? New daring designs? How'd you like to handle these transactions? You seem to know the product line well, and it's right in your skill set.
Sure thing, babe. Aha! Jackpot!
Look, there's no easy way to say this. I've been trying to get a good administrator for a while, and I've kind of tried everything. I'm on my last leg. If it fails, if you fail, I will have to consider a major overhaul of creation itself, and all the paperwork that comes with it. Phew. I would really like to avoid that. So please, 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 be competent, be good, and loyal. Please be loyal. I would hate to see something happen to you.
All right, with your training successfully completed, you can start working on a new world and set up its hell while the chairman finishes the paperwork to make your position permanent. This should go without a hitch. Support the hummus's development, set up this world's hell, keep an eye on the corruption stone. We start with 9K and 70 people.
Let's see what this corruption stone is all about. There!
They built their town around it.
These stones turn honest hummus into insane deviants. All right, I've seen enough.
Maybe we should blow it up?
Absolutely not. Lou is a treacherous bastard. It could be booby-trapped. Let's study it first. Until we know what we're dealing with, you guys will have to handle that the old-fashioned way. Punish the hell out of them.
Alrighty then. Let me gather the crew and we'll get right to it.
All right, so it wants me to populate the overworld.
Hey, Lily hasn't told you what happened with your predecessor, right? I'm not surprised. She can't be too proud about it. Well, to put it plainly, Lou tried to overthrow me. Fortunately, Lily betrayed his trust and snitched on him. That's why I didn't exile her alongside him. And yet, I'm still not entirely sure I can trust her. So be careful around our favorite succubus. Don't let her sultry words get into your head or in your pants. Smile, she's back.
The crew is gathered, and we're ready to follow your lead, Administrator.
I will leave you all to it, while I finish the paperwork to get our administrator permanently appointed.
Okay, so populate the overworld and punish sins. Got it. Down to hell. So, taking a look at this layout here, we have got something new. The Purgatiles field. Souls walking on Purgatiles earn Purgadollars. 1 per soul per cycle. So you can't just like infinite loop them, in other words. Now, as I mentioned before, if they acquire too many sins in the underworld, they're worth no hero dollars, which is probably worth more. Basically, your heroes carry over from map to map. Your Purgadollars don't. So heroes is essentially the most important currency to try to acquire, as far as I'm concerned, because that unlocks things in the Lidastrum. And these things are amazing. Like, for instance, increase the amount of Purgadollars earned from the entrance fee. Or, you know, there's other really good ones too. Increase the amount of Purgadollars earned when punishing souls, right? So there's some upgrades there that are like incredible. So trying to get heroes is ideal. So let's go ahead and lay out, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but like a smarter way to go about this. So here's the plan. The plan is we'll put the measuring device here. We'll create a rule set for left, and this will be if the status is you are a deviant of any type, go left. So when you enter, if you're a deviant, you go left. And for now, because I won't have a high percentage of deviants, they'll just stand there. It's fine. I don't need to handle them at the moment. There's literally, of the 71 people up on the surface, only one of them is a deviant for now. And you can see that up here, 1. If you click on this, you can see most are greed. There's then some... Actually, gold is wrath, and then envy, and then greed. Those are the big ones. All right, then rule number 2. So I'm going to say the fallback here will be B, the middle, and C will be if sin value is less than... So if any sin is less than, let's say, 40, we just immediately jet them over to the exit. And I think what I'll do is capitalize on having them walk on the tiles. And then we'll have to measure whether they're picking up too many sins at 40. I might need to adjust this quantity to account for this. It's also worth mentioning, not to get into too many spoilers, but you can terrify hummus to make them walk faster, so they pick up fewer sins in transit. And the lava here is terrifying. So they will move faster along the lava path. And this is something that you'll like learn about later on. But essentially, this is an overlay up here in the top right. And this is the hell and fear motivator. So the blue here is fear. And being near the lava induces a lot of fear. So what it can do in this case is adjust the walkway here a little bit so that they stay within the fear of the lava for as much as possible as they transit outward. Essentially speeding their movement speed up as high as it can go, so they GTFO, if you will. With that said, you should not be instilling fear in your employees. It demotivates them. You should be motivating them instead. So fear and motivation have opposite effects. Fear lowers employee motivation, while motivation lowers soul's fear. So you gotta balance them correctly. All right, so if the fallback is B, basically if you aren't a deviant going left and you have sins that are greater than 40 and not going right, then you are gonna queue up for the waiting line. So I'm gonna create a waiting line like this to hold a decent amount of capacity. Having it curve a little bit, it's fine. And then we'll stick in a waiting booth there. inside the waiting booth. We're going to do a work speed person.
If that pleases you.
And then we'll get our first Omnidoctor. Plop it right there. And have the Soul Rogue connect to it. And then the plan is to also put a Hell Pet show. And I'll probably end up moving the Hell Pet show later on to be able to build a capacity. But essentially, once you're out of here, you will immediately go into the Hell Pet show. And then you'll go to the loop. And before you enter the loop, I'm going to measure one more time. So I'm going to measure twice. But essentially, the Souls Dispatcher is relatively cheap. So because you only make money for the first time going through the loop, it doesn't really make sense to go through the loop and then restart it. So here, if you want to, the fallback will be to the right. And then if you want to continue upwards, sin value, let's say less than 45 at this point, because there's less of a path to go through, we'll be able to make it to the exit. And then if you're, let's do 44 and just arbitrary, I don't know. It's one of those like to be measured. And then else you get booted back to this start. To the start of the queue. And for remeasurement. All right, let's hire a permanently motivated hire. Sure, whatever. And then hire one of these. Let's go with a work speed.
Of course. Easy peasy.
Okay, and I'm sure we're going to have to add additional capacity as we progress, having more Omnidoctors and more Hell Pet operators. But that's a start. And then we'll spend more money as I make more money. Thank you for tuning in to Sintopia, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming stream. If you'd like to join my online gaming community in Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow administrators.